Now, Gauteng Education MEC Matome Chiloane has announced that at least 193,000 candidates are registered to sit for this year's National Senior Certificate examinations. Matome provided an overview on the state of readiness for the upcoming exams and the placement for Grade 1 and Grade 8 for 2026. Now, the 2025 matric examinations are scheduled to begin on October the 21st and conclude on November 27th. For more on this, we're joined by the Gauteng Education MEC, Matome Chiloane, joining us now. MEC, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it. As you launched the exam season for the province, it was very poignant to add that the key question marks will always be around the security and safety of those papers themselves. How is that going with regards to security protocols?
Thank you. Good morning to you and good morning to your viewers. In relation to security, I think Gauteng is head and shoulders above to many. We have strengthened our security. We have received thumbs up from both DBE and Umalusi, as well as the State Security Agency, in terms of our planning and the tightness to ensure that there's no leakages whatsoever. And we have not experienced any leakages for a very, very long time as a province. So even this year, we're going to have a seamless, smooth NSC examination period.
Yeah, you also claim there'll be, 100% chief invigilator coverage. Let's just talk a little bit more about that and the vetting criteria, especially to ensure things like integrity, less disruptions, for example, and how will invigilators then report any irregularities that they see?
Yeah, we've got 1,040 examination centers. Of each will have invigilators, and this is why we boast 100% coverage, that all of our centers have got invigilators there. We have sourced over around 1,600 of them to go to this examination center to ensure that learners comply with the code of conduct that is expected of them. But what is also important to highlight is that our learners have been thoroughly prepared for this examination. We have taken them through through what is expected of them, what time of arrival, the conduct, what to bring and what not to bring. So in that regard, we are one of the very few, actually the only one that I can confidently say is we've got 100% coverage in terms of monitoring.
Yeah, very important one actually to be having. I wanted to actually go into some specific vulnerabilities that you may have been taking on from previous exam cycles, whether that be in the form of infrastructure failures, community protests, administrative delays that may be in place in any way, and have those been addressed for this year, especially in remote and high-risk areas, whether it be areas of high protest or areas that are really, very distant from the epicenters?
True. That is a risk that is there. We've seen a surge in service delivery protests of late. And hence, that's why I'm continuing to appeal to communities that irrespective of how they do feel about certain issues that is affecting them in the community, as a school, we are not responsible. We are not responsible for water because we're not run water. We're not responsible for ESCOM because we're not for electricity because we're not ESCOM. So there is absolutely no reason why they should disrupt schooling. But however, we have put in place measures should there be, obviously we've identified as well these high-risk areas, that should there be a potential disruption, where are we going to move the learners to? So we are in that regard. So our intel system on the ground is quite strong. The community does. In fact, community always lets us know when they're going to strike and let us know if a school is targeted. In those instances, we know we've got plans on what we want to do with the learners.
Yeah, I like that you've spoken a lot about the power or electricity as well as water, for example, as well, and made that a part of contingency plans, because that's going to be very key here. Do all the schools that you then say are, well, in many ways ready for this exam cycle, have to put forward some kind of contingency plan just in case they do have load shedding or load reduction, whether it be water outages, transport disruptions, etc.? Is all of that also in place?
Yes, in particular, there are certain subjects that require electricity, like CAT. Of course, there with those schools must have generators in place, so that should there be any disruption. But with regard to water and other service delivery challenges, we've got plans in place where we do provide as a provisioning for water. We do send water in those particular schools, especially if we know in time. We are able to prepare in advance that this school is going to not have water, so that the learners who are writing the NSC are not disrupted at all in those examination centers across. So in terms of our planning and supporting for our learners, we've really thoroughly prepared to support them fully. They just have to study and get the results.
Very, very important. The key ingredient ultimately to all of this, right? Let's just talk about whether the department will be able at all to publish what should be a post-exam audit of sorts, which would be talking, or maybe an incident report might be the right term here, to detail any kind of breaches, irregularities or logistical failures that may be seen, so that it takes on learnings that will help in future.
No, we do that every year. We do have to do a post-analysis report of threats or of incidences. I mean, last year we didn't have any major incidents, except there were about 2 or 4 cases where learners went into the examination center with their smartwatches and were able to find them, and those are just the small minor incidents, but nothing really to the extreme where it's crypt notes, etc. So we do that assessment post, just to check how do we strengthen, where could there be a problem, and which examination centers are vulnerable.
Yes, that vulnerability being very key. Just as a final question, you've also urged learners to, as much as possible, stay away from social media. One aspect that they'll continue to be a part of, whether we like it or not, ahead of these final exams, is are there any digital literacy campaigns or media hygiene campaigns to help learners manage their online etiquette or distractions and misinformation?
No, we tell them, we advise them during the course of the year. We really take them through that. This is the period where you can stay away from your cell phone, from your social media pages for just the next 4 weeks. From there, you'll go back. You'll be able to post on your final day. It's okay. But up until then, they need to. There's only one ingredient for them to really succeed in this period. It's just to study and study and study. That's all. There's nothing else that they can do to take them across the line.
Yeah, and I suppose mental health and trauma systems also need to be in place somewhat in terms of support. Does any of that exist?
Yes, definitely. We've had quite a difficult year. This is one of those years where we had quite a number of cases of bullying, suicide, and etc. So there's been quite a number. So we do have a very good team, a psychosocial team, and I really want to applaud them. They've been on standby. They're quick to the situation, an issue that happens wherever it is, and so they're also there even now. Even during examination, we do provide those services, as and when learners come to us, they notify us. We're able to pick it up, and then we're able to quickly support them so that they don't really lose their focus from the examination. So we do have that infrastructure in place.
Matome Chiloane, the MEC for Education in Gauteng. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Really appreciate it as we head towards those final exams for the year. Matric exams kicking off on October the 21st.